I want to do a quick announcement about our sponsorship, and it is, of course, sponsored by Burn Up Coaching and Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self and the 21-Day Challenge. And the 21-Day Challenge, what is that? So if you are an entrepreneur, high achiever, and you feel like you're stuck, you're spinning your wheels, you're not producing the maximum amount of results and output that you know you're capable of, then the 21-Day Challenge is an opportunity for you to really reignite yourself, your self-belief, your passion, your drive, your clarity, so that you can succeed like never before. Over the course of 21 days, you'll get clear on your end destination. That's in, the next couple years, where you want to be heading and winding up. And then in 21 days, you're going to get clear on where you want to be. You're going to attack. You're going to achieve that 21-day goal so that you succeed like never before. Along the process, getting daily accountability and check-in support, weekly deep dive calls to make sure that you're uncovering the limiting beliefs and self-sabotaging patterns that are getting in your way and stopping you from succeeding. So if you're interested and committed in being and becoming your greatest possible self, and you're committed to taking on the 21-day challenge, send me a message or an email, chris@beyourgps.com. Message me on Facebook, get a hold of me, let me know you're committed to your 21-day challenge, and I'll send you the intake form and see if you're a good fit. It's not right for everyone, but if you're ready for the intensity and ready to transform, it could be a great fit for you. So thank you in advance for doing that, and I'm looking forward to helping you achieve your 21-day challenge goal. The next part is the iTunes review of the week. It's by Luna Goon. And Luna Goon says, value packed, taking you to next levels. Chris is an incredible interviewer. He is super smart, silly, and has a gigantic heart of gold. He genuinely cares for his fans and bends over backwards to deliver high-end value for everyone he meets. This is a must listen. I recommend making the time for it every single week. Thanks, Chris, for your continued contributions. Thank you so much, Luna Goon. And if you want to give us a review, feel free to do that. Go to beyourgps.com/iTunes, and that'll take you to the iTunes store, and you can leave us a rating and review there, or you can just search Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self and give us a review like that. Or you can search Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self on Facebook and leave us a review there. We appreciate all reviews. Thank you in advance for doing that. Now, for the man of the hour, Rico Caveglia. Rico Caveglia, chronological age 76, fitness age 35, is America's healthy aging trainer and creator of the Ageless Living Lifestyle, the Vitality for Life training system, and the Be Bold, Never Be Old Wellness Club. He is a speaker and author of 17 books and a personal trainer for 36 years. He is a multi-gold and silver medalist in the California State Senior Olympics. He helps motivated, successful people get and stay fit, energetic, and vital for life so they can be as successful as they want to be. And he's here. He's going to be sharing with us some super powerful gold, how to stay young, how to stay vital, how to stay youthful. And Rico, are you ready to rock this, brother?
Anytime I'm around you, anybody's around you, you're ready to rock.
That's right. That's right. Okay, dude. So we're going to do it.
You can't help but be, right?
Yes. Welcome to Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self. We're going to dive in. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be here and share your wisdom with us, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. My pleasure. And we're going to have a lot of fun. So let's start off by diving into the question of the day, which is calling in your creations. So Rico, how does this concept of calling in your creations, of declaring something and then achieving it and then succeeding with it, how does that show up for you in your life, and why is it important?
Well, it's so important. I think one of the biggest challenges and problems that we have globally is people's lack of expectation of what's possible in their life, as you well know. So it's so important to get the message out to people that we're so much more powerful than we know, that, and we can accomplish so many things. And it's got to be a whole mind, body, and spiritual shift in our ways of thinking and believing, as you always teach. So it's the whole thing of the realizing that we come from the Creator, however you want to think about that, and we're part of that, and that's what we're here for. We're here to create. And you know what, Chris? What I think about sometimes is think about the of all the people on this planet and how many people are just in survival mode or in just such a difficult situation that they never be able to get their creativity and their innovative ideas out there. Just think if we could ever once wise up and be at peace and just collaborate and help each other, it would be just mind-blowing what we could create and what we would be doing now. But yet we're held back so much by this old energy and the old beliefs and old thoughts and ways that we have to be. So it's all about realizing that you're here to create, and you have something unique and talents and ability that no one else has. And it's always like, we want to help people step up and be their best self.
Beautiful, beautiful, man. I love it. I love how we're starting this off. So, Rika, for everyone who doesn't know what America's Healthy Aging Trainer means and who you are and what you're all about, let us know. Give us the 411, man.
Okay. Well, I had the good fortune to meet someone. I moved to San Diego in 1981, and I happened to meet one of the very first personal trainers, and he said, I need some help. I want to open up a modern personal training studio. So I think we opened up the first modern personal training studio in 1981 or 82 here in San Diego. It was called Fitness by Design. And in that same year, my father, he died of lung cancer. And my father was like the healthiest guy ever. He was never sick or never went to the doctor, one of those kind of guys, never got physical exams. But, he grew up way back in like the 20s and 30s and smoked cigarettes since he's 11 years old. But, those days, nobody knew how bad it was for you, So all of a sudden he got lung cancer and he died. So when that happened, I kind of dedicated, I committed to myself. I didn't want that to happen to me, and I didn't want that to happen to anybody else. So that's when I began to, just study all I could about, what the requirements of our body to function optimally, and, what about nutrition and fitness, of course, exercise. But then I really, started getting into all the whole mental, emotional state and how that's really what, our mental, emotional state is really what creates what manifests in our physical body. And then I think in the late 90s, when I first discovered that science was telling us that our genetic potential is actually to stay healthy to at least 125.
Yeah.
So 125 should at least be our lifespan, but yet we know that our life expectancy is only about 80. So I said, wait a minute, something's wrong with this picture, right? And so that's what I began to really research. Why is this actually happening? And it comes down to, it really is our lifestyle. We now know that our genes play really a small role in how healthy and how long we're going to live. So it's really our lifestyle. And then, the new field of epigenetics, which means above genetics, has discovered that our environment, our external environment and our internal environment, how we think, how we feel, and how we're treating our physical body can actually alter our genes. So it's our genes are not set in stone. So it's our lifestyle and what we're thinking and believing and how we're taking care of our body actually is determining, can actually alter and turn on or turn off genes in our body as well. Wow. So that's why I developed what I call the Ageless Living Lifestyle. And it's a complete mind, body, and spiritual wellness system of really a proven strategies. I've been working with people, hundreds and hundreds of people all these years, so I really know what works. And so it's all about learning that you never have to be old at any age, because old is a state of your mind, right? Yep. It's primarily a state of your mind and a state of your body. And those are both primarily choices. It's how you want to take care of your mind and your body. And so that's really became my thing, is to tell people to be bold and to never be old. You don't have to get old. You can stay healthy and energetic all of your life. And the real reason that really I really want to get this message out to more people is, as you know, we as human beings on this planet are facing some truly monumental challenges, right? And just with climate change and all the things that are going on there, and worst of all, we're still fighting and killing each other, right? Yep. Just wasting our resources and time and energy. And so we need more people as they age to stay healthy and energetic, so they can give back their knowledge and their wisdom to help solve these challenges. And we need a lot more mentors and role models for older people, which we don't have, because most people are getting old and sick and getting pushed aside, right? And becoming irrelevant, and they die. So we're missing out on all that experience and wisdom and knowledge. So that's what I'm all about, and that's what I'm trying to help change.
Wow, amazing, amazing. I totally agree. Bringing those coaches and those mentors back to share that information. That's why I love this show, and being able to impact people's lives. And of course, along the journey, be able to make that impact, grow our businesses, and make the money, make the income to be able to say, yes, I'm doing great work in the world. I'm adding value, and I love what you're doing, and it's helping people. It's helping people like stay young and be bold and live longer. So that's awesome. I really, really appreciate that, and I'm grateful that we can live an awesome life doing things like this. So I also recognize that a lot of people have heard about all the health stuff, and they think they've heard it. They think they've heard it all. So let's go back into the journey a little bit and tell us about how you developed this and why you developed it, and more about the curriculum and the mindset, so that we can start getting a better idea of where you're coming from with all this.
Okay. Well, yeah, it does begin with mindset. Once I got into it, for many years working with people, then I began to realize, as a personal trainer, you always wonder, why do people have such a hard time sticking with a healthy eating or an exercise program? All the science is there, all the knowledge is there. There's no one hardly can deny that, a consistent, proper exercise program is going to give you all these benefits, and eating healthy, whole, organic foods is going to make a difference in your energy and all these things. But so why do people really struggle with that? And so that's why I began really studying a lot more psychology and get into the emotional aspect of it. So first of all, it's all about, again, changing your belief system. You have to buy into. You have to believe that you can stay healthy and energetic. If you buy into the mainstream normal narrative of, well, that's just the way it is, we're all going to get old, and and we might need to end up in a nursing home, and you better buy this law. A funny thing, Chris, when I turned like 60, I started getting these letters in the mail saying, oh, it's time to plan for your long-term care and all this. I'm going, what? It's just, but see, unfortunately, that's the system we're under, and people, because it's big money, right? And people buy into that, and they just accept that. And so that's the main message, that you have to unclutter your mind of all that. You got to decondition yourself from that normal buzz that's out there about that's just how it is, and you're probably going to get sick and old. And so that's the first part. You got to change that whole mindset of it, of what's really possible in your life. And as you know, that goes with everything, whether it's your business or your health or your relationships. It's all about, really having a positive and believing in yourself that you can create that. And then it's about really, educating yourself of what really our physical body really requires. And as you know as well, there's so much overwhelming information about exercise and foods and diet, and a lot of it is just hype, just to try and sell products and services. And I know it's overwhelming. It can be very confusing. So what I've done is I try to make it really, really simplistic and boil it down to the essence of what you really need to know. So what I came up with, really the basis of my Ageless Living Lifestyle is to learn to master the 7 essentials of life. And that is, these are the 7 things that we're already doing all the time just to stay alive, but we haven't learned to really master them. We're not doing them in a way that it serves us best, right? And that is, of course, number 1 is how we're thinking and believing. And then number 2, of course, is oxygen. We got to get more oxygen in our body, and we have to stay hydrated. We have to eat, real food. We have to eliminate the waste products. We have to get the proper rest and sleep. And is that 7? Is that all of them? I think that's basically all the things that we're doing already, but we're not just not doing it to our best of our ability, and that's really serving us. So it's really quite simple, learning that, how to breathe and get more oxygen to your body, and how to stay hydrated, okay, Chris, I came up with a new diet to end all the diets. It's just so crazy that all these extreme diets. It's called the 7-word diet. You want to know what that is?
I want to hear it.
It's eat a variety of whole organic foods. Does that make sense or not?
It totally makes sense.
If people would just eat a primary diet of whole organic foods on a daily basis, almost so many of these health challenges and problems would just go away.
Yeah.
Now, the whole subject of nutrition it's complicated. We're all biochemically unique, and we have different things that are good for us. And some health food can be really healthy for one person, it can be deadly. Like some people, I have some friends that if they eat nuts, they almost die, right? So
Right.
you have to tweak it. So I do recommend, that you consult with either a naturopathic doctor or a holistic MD or a good nutritionist that can help to determine, what more foods really are suitable for your particular metabolism and your biochemistry. But basically, if you just get rid of the junk and the packaged processed foods and start eating real food. In fact, my very first book back in the 90s was called Real Food, Real Fast. It's how to eat, it's how to make healthy fast food.
Ooh.
So yeah, I'll have to send you the e-copy of that. It's really quite simple. I mean, real food is what's grown in nature by Mother Nature. It's organic fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds and some healthy grains. And then some health, I believe in, some animal products are good for you as long as they're raised naturally without any hormones and chemicals and raised naturally. But again, you have to see what works specifically for you. So it's not that difficult. We always tend to make everything too complicated, don't we?
Yep.
Everything too complicated. It's not that complicated, It's pretty simple,
Yeah. Yeah. And in terms of I know movement is a big part of your philosophy. What kind of movements are best? How do we know what our body is meant to do? And what would you recommend for that?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. Yeah, again, there's so much misinformation and we're always learning, there's no one thing. Again, it's not set in stone, and there's no one exercise or system that works for everybody. Again, you have to see really what works for you. But there's so much misinformation now. We've really learned that, all this aerobic exercise, long bouts of jogging and slow aerobic exercise is really harmful to you. It's not really good for your body. It actually wears your joints out. It actually wears your heart out. So let's talk about aerobic exercise first of all. So think about this, and I rarely hear anybody else that mention this, but think about this. Our heart is the most endurance, strong muscle in our whole body, right? Our heart, wow. If you live to be 80, your heart's going to beat about 4 billion times. So our heart is already an endurance muscle. It doesn't need to be trained to do endurance, unless that's a sport. When you're younger, if you want to race and do that, that's something else, but it's not good for you. And running a marathon is really, you're not a marathon runner, are you?
No.
Good. It's not really a smart thing to do. When I first started studying exercise physiology back in the 80s, they did some studies on marathon runners that they took muscle biopsies before and after the race. And they said it can take up to 90 days to repair the damage from running a marathon.
Wow.
And if you know the story of the first marathon runner, Pallades or something. You remember he ran to tell him about, I forgot what his name.
Yeah, he ran across Greece or something like that.
Yeah, to come and tell him about the invasion, and then he dropped dead. You're right. That's true. That shows. And so many people, running long distance is not healthy for you. It's aging your body. It's wearing your body out. So all you need to do. So what you need to do. I mean, everybody's heard about, high intensity interval training, and there's all different variations. They call it turbulence and bursting and all that. That just depends on how fit and healthy you are, how it's going to work for you. But what we need to do is train our heart to withstand a stressful situation, whether it's just, stress in our daily life, or it's actually some physical stress that we need to get away from something, or if we are, the challenge in a physical situation. So that's how we need to train our heart. And it only takes, from 10 to 15 to 20 minutes of some kind of high intensity, aerobic, whatever method you're using to get your heart rate up. And then, for maybe 30 to 45 seconds, depending on your individual fitness level, and then let it come back down for a minute or so. And we've also found that it's best there's no one system that's right. It actually works better if the person doing the exercise determines when they're ready to go again. You actually get better results that way. Wow. So it may be a minute, it might be 2 minutes, could be 30 seconds. And you only need to do something like that for about, 15 to 20 minutes. And that actually keeps your metabolism up longer for in 15 minutes than it does out jogging for a whole hour, you know.
Wow.
So many people are wasting their time doing so many things, you know. They're in the gym on all these treadmills and all these ellipticals, and they're out running, and they're actually aging themselves and burning themselves up. So you don't really need to do anything like that, any long-term aerobic exercise, but be consistent. Do something every day, whether it's go for a power walk or go for a swim or ride your bike, or I like to recommend people to go out and do something every day.
Beautiful.
And if I can I give them a really good tip here, a good energy tip?
Please.
Okay, so many people these days, you know, sit in an office behind a computer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the biggest excuses, you know, for not exercising is people will say, well, God, at the end of the day, I feel really tired. I feel fatigued. I go home and I don't feel like exercising. I just want to lay down on the couch, you know? And what it is, unless you're a construction worker, right, you're not really physically tired, right? You're just sitting there, but our brain is using a lot of blood sugar, and then in the waste products, the lactic acid builds up in our body. So that's why you feel sluggish and tired, but your muscles aren't tired. All you have to do is, after you get off work, is do 15 minutes of aerobic exercise. Go for a walk, go for a swim, do something. You'll blow out all that lactic acid, and you'll rejuvenate yourself, and you'll be able to enjoy your evening. You'll have energy for your evening.
Wow.
So simple.
Wow.
So simple.
Do you recommend working out twice a day or just once a day? Like, if people want to get their day started with great energy and blood flowing and stuff like that, then, you know, exercise then. But it also sounds like, hey, if you want to have a great night and not be all like tired, then it sounds like exercise in the afternoon or evening sounds good too.
Yeah, well, both would be better, obviously. But yeah, really, I really recommend most people would, you know, you do if it's at all possible to get up early in the morning and get your day started that way, you know.
Yeah.
And the two good reasons for that. Actually, the best reason is because then you've done it and you got it done. And so if you put it off to later in the day, it's so easy to have an excuse, right?
Yeah.
Oh, something came up, or I don't feel good, or this and that. So you have an excuse. Right. But yeah, if you can do it in the early morning, it gets you energized and get your body, you know, get your synovial fluid moving in your joints and get your circulation going, and so you can wake up and be your best self and have energy for the whole day. So ideally, yeah, if you could start. So that's a good point you just made, though. If you do your main workout, whether it's an aerobic workout or a strength workout, but then if you're still sitting all day again, you're still you know, here's the thing that people don't realize either. You ask a lot of people if they have a sedentary lifestyle, and so people who are exercising say, oh no, I don't have one. But even if you're exercising a whole hour a day, and then you're sitting you're sitting at the office, sitting in your car, sitting at home on the couch, we all still do have actually have a sedentary lifestyle. So that's why, again, if you get off work, then go out and move again. And I recommend that you don't sit for more than about 30 minutes. You got to get up and move a little bit. And just do some movements, you know, and get some circulation going and do some movements, and then go back. But don't sit for more than about 30 seconds. You've probably heard that term that sitting is the new smoking.
Yep.
It's just as bad. It's actually worse, because now we know that originally we thought that sitting was just bad because, you know, gave us bad posture and get you stiff and your back hurts and, you know, all those sort of things. But now that they've done medical studies that, you know, it really slows your metabolism down and blood pools in your legs, and it causes all kind of you know, problems and precursors to all kind of disease. So you got to get off your butt and keep moving. Yeah.
So I love this because I sit here for 12 hours at a time. You know, I'll get up every 4 hours to go to the restroom and stuff like that. And Sam Shelley asks, is it healthy for Chris to sit this long during his marathon interview day?
Well, no, but I'm pretty sure Chris is in pretty good shape. So, and he's a young guy, he can get away with it. But still, even then, if you can, you know, take a little time to get up, even if it's just for a couple of minutes, you know, just get out of that posture of that forward posture that it's almost impossible not to be in, because, you know, we're looking forward all the time. So even if you just got up for 1 minute and, you know, roll your shoulders back and lift up, take some nice deep breaths, that would make a big difference.
So maybe I can integrate 60-second stretch in between every interview.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. That'd be really good. And also, you're just creating another good habit too, you know. So.
Yeah. I love it. And then even people like Brendan Burchard, he talks about high performance habits and how, they set either a 40-minute or a 50-minute timer and
Right.
like solid focus, laser focus, and then 10 minutes of get up, walk around, stretch, go grab a bite to eat, do whatever you got to do to, make yourself energized again, get some life, get a new kind of perspective, fresh perspective, and then jump back into it, and then set another timer. That's like the most optimal way to produce results as a high performer.
You know what, Chris? Just hearing you say that again. It's all these things that we really make a difference in our life. They're not difficult. They're simple things. So the whole key is how can we get more people to understand that? And we all could do better, right? I mean, we all need to work on that. But there's really all the basic things that we really need to do that are going to help us in every aspect of our life are really basic, simple stuff. We just have to commit to actually doing it. And that's the biggest challenge with working with anybody, with a client or with yourself, is to actually not only get the education and know what we need to do, but then actually commit and actually making it happen.
Executing. Yeah. It's one thing to know, but it's another thing to execute on it. So in terms of, I know mobility is a big thing for you and stretching. I kind of wanted to get into that because I know that you have some unique perspectives on that and tools and resources, and you invested a lot of time and energy into like mastering that. So I'm curious, how did you get into mobility and stretching and like the vitality stick and like what you're creating and you have created, and like what inspired you to do that, and tell us more about that.
Thanks a lot, Chris. It's so fun to talk with you. It's okay. So really, I mean, when we talk about anti-aging, or I call it anti-growing old, a true measure of your age is really how good is your posture, and how flexible, how well can you move, The most sad thing I see, especially men, you see so many old guys, they're all bent over and they're just shuffling their feet. And primarily the reason for that, unless they had some real serious injury or disease, is because they just allowed their muscles to get stiff and shorten up on them. And then that's all you can do. But again, that's just lack of care for your body. So again, a true measure of your age is how good is your posture? How well can you move? How flexible are you? So that is the most best anti-aging thing that you can actually do. So what I recommend is, if nothing else, is before you go to bed at night, get down on the floor and just take 15 minutes to just, quiet your mind, still your body, and then do some basic stretches. You need to do that on a regular basis. And so, my vitality stick, because I've always used this a stick, like about a 4.5-foot pole. You can do a lot of warm-up movements and all that sort of thing. And then I realized that it really has lots of different things that you can do with it. So I developed a whole routine, not only a flexibility routine that you use in the stick. It's basically similar like some yoga, different postures. But for a lot of people, especially if you haven't been doing much stretching and a lot of guys are really stiff, a lot of yoga postures are really difficult. So you can do some of these same kind of yoga postures that really improve your flexibility and posture by using the stick, because it helps you with your balance and your alignment. It helps you keep you with good alignment. It helps you with your balance and your posture. So I developed a whole complete flexibility routine that you can use with the vitality stick. And also, the other good benefit of the vitality stick is that I recommend that you keep it, next to your desk or somewhere where you see it, and that'll remind you to, I need to get up and do a few things. So you get your stick and you do a few of the movements, so that'll remind you to do that. So being flexible, your flexibility is the most important thing. So that's a really good way to start your day as well. I have a whole warm-up routine that I film too, on video. So with my vitality stick, I have a warm-up routine video. I have an aerobic workout, we have a strength workout, and then we have a flexibility workout. And it's a great way to start your day, as you mentioned, to get up and to, first breathe and set your intention for the day and maybe a little meditation. But then, want to get your stick out and just go through it. It can take 10 minutes or 15 minutes and just try and go through the whole body. And what I call is just move everything that you can possibly move. It's like move it or lose it, right?
Yeah.
So we work our neck, our shoulders, our hips, our your core muscles, your legs. So just go through a whole series of movements, and that gets the synovial fluid movement in your joints, so it's not likely that you'll injure yourself, and get your circulation going and get your mind clear so you can go out and have a powerful day because you've already got yourself, you wake yourself up. So many people I know that they just roll out of bed with an alarm clock and they're rushing around and drinking their coffee and rush off to the office, all kind of frazzled, right?
Mm.
And then you don't come in with a good posture and looking like you're in a power position, and you're not giving off some good energy that people are going to go, whoa. But if you take the time to wake yourself up mentally and physically and work on your alignment and your posture and your breathing and how you set your intention for the day, then you can walk into whatever situation you are,
Yeah.
and people are going to feel that, hey, this person's alive here. This person's ready to go get it,
Mm. Yeah, I love it. I love it. And it's like preparation is the biggest part. When you prepare to succeed, then that's when you're going to have the greatest chance to succeed. People prepare their schedule, they prepare their calendar, they prepare the business activities. Sometimes, if they're wise, they'll prepare their food. They'll, like prepare all this stuff in advance. But oftentimes people don't prepare their body to be able to be ready for whatever comes their way. Not that necessarily they're going to get chased by a tiger or a lion in the wilderness, but rather like prepare your body to endure the stress, to endure the even just being stationary all day long. Because if you don't do that, compounded over time, which people don't recognize, that's like the one thing that people don't recognize is that compound effect of not taking action until it's too late, until there's emergencies, until there's glaring signs. Until there's glaring signs that things are falling all around him.
Oh, you saw that?
Yeah.
My curtain just fell down. There's a lot of breeze, so you got to be ready for all those kind of things, right?
Right? Because you stretched today, Rico, it's just like,
That's right.
But then you're back in action. You're not.
I didn't even flinch, did I?
I think you looked at it. You're like, what?
That thing. Yeah, one of those compression things that's not working that great, I guess. Obviously. So the lighting's really bad.
It's so good.
So that's one thing that I really want to stress to people. No matter what your goals are, what you want to achieve in your life, it takes a lot of energy to be highly successful in every aspect of your life, whether it's your business or your career or your health, your relationships. It takes a lot of energy. So that's why it's so important to develop your own personal wellness system. So you can have energy and strength and feel good every day. And also that the better you look and feel, physically, that's it really raises your mental, emotional, how you feel about raises your self-esteem and your confidence, So anybody who wants to be highly successful in their life in any aspect of it, you really need to, because it's a whole mind, body, and spiritual, system that we have. And so if you neglect any one of those, you're not going to be able to be as successful as you want to be. So it just makes so much sense to, first of all, I really feel what I teach is the foundation for everything else that you want to do in your life. If you're not feeling good and you're not, you don't have the energy and you're not feeling good about yourself, how successful can you be in any other aspect of your life? It seems so logical to me.
Right?
Doesn't it? Yeah.
But I think the challenge is people come with their box thinking about like, well, I don't have enough time, or I'm not able to do this at work, or I'm not blah, 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 blah. I have too many obligations. And I think it's like that thinking that keeps people stuck rather than saying, okay, I'm dealing with this situation and circumstance. How can I find a solution? Which, I started yoga, I want to say like 5 years ago or so. I started doing that. So happy I did. Just an amazing experience. And that started me into doing like Zumba and dancing. And I wouldn't have started doing that if I wouldn't have started with yoga, if I wouldn't have started saying, hey, I need mobility. I'm committed to mobility. I'm committed to flow. I'm committed to not getting stuck and old and boxed in my thinking, in my body movements, anything, and I think people unfortunately are like through life, they just get boxed in their thinking, in their paradigm, and it stops them from being able to step up and create solutions on how they can have it all, how they can have, healthy food and stretching and be productive at work and take care of the kids and do the things that they love and their passion. It's just like, it's almost like they give up before they've even tried.
Well, that's a really good point. Let's talk about time, because, that's the biggest excuse, right? Oh, I'm too busy, I don't have time. And that's actually the worst excuse, because as everybody knows, We all have the same 24 hours a day. And I can personally guarantee that, because I've worked with a lot of highly successful, busy people, that the vast majority of the most successful, busy people take time to exercise, because it may not be because they really care about fitness, but they know that it gives them more energy, so they'll be more successful in their business.
Exactly.
I mean, I've worked with people that way, that all they really want to care about is how successful they're going to be in their business, right? So they know that when they exercise, they have a lot more energy, and it makes them more successful. So that's the worst excuse. You don't have time. You have the time. And people, if you will be honest with yourself and really look at your whole day, there's a lot of time that we waste on just nonsensical stuff and silly stuff and TV and all these sort of things that we waste our time on.
Yeah.
And so you can take the time. I know if you have a family, you have young children, it makes it more difficult, but you can still do it because there's people that are doing it. And again, I have to emphasize that most of the most successful busy people take the time to exercise and to eat healthy and to take care of their physical body, because again, they know that's going to make them more successful. And the other point is, if you're working really hard and striving to be all this successful, and specifically financially successful, what good is it if you're going to break down and get sick and die way too young, like most people are? You need to stay around to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So if you're not taking care of your health, there's an old saying that so many people waste their health, trying to build their wealth, and then they have to spend their wealth to try and get their health back. That doesn't make any sense, does it? It's kind of really silly. So, the time thing. So, it's all these things are just simple, really understandings and just, I don't know how we ever got into this such a rush society, that we're just always, we think we have to accomplish so much. So that's kind of the downside of all of our technology. All of our high-tech devices, they're great. We can accomplish and do so many more things, but I think it's got people so caught up into it that it's really stressed people out. We keep thinking that we have to, because we can accomplish more, we think that we have to all the time. So you've got to, put it away, sometimes, and just, and unplug for a while, and realize that you don't have to, it's just, again, it's just these thoughts that we have that what the real fake news is, I think, that we have to be concerned about. It's not what's on the nightly news. That's like a reality show, really. The real fake news is all these limiting beliefs and things that we have in our head, just like you mentioned, first of all, if you're not going to be able to be successful, or if you think that you've got to do this, you've got to do this, and you've got to get ahead, and all these things, all this kind of stories that are running around in our head all the time that are really stressing us out, that's what you got to watch out for. And it's always about balance. It's always about balance. I actually have a book. As a matter of fact, if any of your listeners would like to get a copy of this ebook, I'll be happy to send it to them. It's called Real Happiness, Real Success, Real Fast. It's one of my series of Real Something, Real Fast. It's an ebook. It's just kind of my spin on how you can actually, and first you got to be, have clarity on what really all are the important things in your life.
Right.
Usually, it's our relationships, it's our business, it's our health, and so all those things, when you're really clear on what you really are, what's important to you, and what you need to put your attention on, then you need to you don't have to do it exactly every day, but you got to spend some time on all those areas all the time. So every day you're doing something that's taking you forward and creating your life in each one of those areas. You can't, so many people just, right now I'm just going to make my business, and then later I'll work on my relationship, or I'll work on my health. That doesn't work. You have to be, in order to be truly happy and successful, you have to work on those things you got to spend time on all those things pretty much on a daily basis. You got to take time for your health. You got to take time for your relationships. You got to take time for your, for your business, for your work. And you got to find how to balance those together, so you're actually doing all those things in one time. And that's how to be successful. If you're balancing all those aspects of your life every day, that's being successful.
Man, that is gold. That is gold right there, Rico. I love that. Love that statement, because it's true. It's true. If these areas go out of balance, out of whack, it's gonna bring everything else down, right? It's like the the aspect, though, it's like a wheel of life, right? If one of the spokes on the wheel is gone or is like really short and not maximized, then the whole life is going to feel that, right? And it's going to impact the other areas, the adjacent areas. And I believe it's important to have like a burning desire and a tenacity and a persistence and a focus on things, so that like almost sometimes to the exclusion of distractions and to the detriment of some areas of life at times. But it is a season. It is not entire life. It is a season. Sometimes we have to like push through. We have to say, hey, family, honey, kids, whatever. I'm going to be busy building this business for the next 90 days, for the next 180 days. I just want to give you a heads up. Like, this is my full freaking commitment so we can live an amazing life and travel and do all these amazing things. Same thing with the health. It's like, hey, I have been like eating unhealthily or had unhealthy habits. I am going to be 100% in this for the next 90 days, for the next 180 days, really building and dialing my lifestyle. And I think the big thing with health is it's a lifestyle that must continue on after those days. But the big thing is to let people know and communicate that and set a goal, a target, to have incredible focus with that. Because I think if people are just like, oh, I'll focus on this area a little bit, I'll focus on that area a little bit, with a mediocrity or a casualness about it, then it won't be successful. But rather, if you're all in every area, and then sometimes some of the areas go out of balance because you're hyper focused on that to take it to the next level, I think that's a really, really great recipe for success as well.
Yeah, no point. I totally agree with that. The only thing I would add to that is, though, you have to realize, though, that all these things, I mean, we tend to get a little bit too sometimes, like out of balance, and we think that this is so important, we got to just do this.
Yeah. And
then you kind of burn out, So all these things, I mean, yeah, you have to do them with a focus and with a commitment, but realize it's an ongoing process. It's not something okay, if I just do this for this many days, then I'm going to be okay. Well, maybe not. I mean, it's an ongoing, your health's an ongoing process, your business is an ongoing process, your spirituality, all those things are an ongoing process. So that's why I feel that you need to, keep in touch with all those on a regular basis. But yes, sometimes it requires that your focus is on a certain time. No question about that, right?
Yeah.
Another thing I want to say is that also, when you are out of balance and you're just putting too much attention on one area of your life, innately, we know what we should be doing and what's really right and what's important and what we need. And so, even though we're not really, really tuned into it, like most people are not really tuned into their intuition and their innate intelligence,
right?
But yet, it's creating a subtle stress, when you're out of that balance, and that's why we get sick, really. When the stress builds up enough, and our energy gets imbalanced in our body, that's what dis-ease is in our body. Our body gets out of ease, and that's when we get sick, when we are out of balance. So you got to keep that in mind, that balance is so important, and that's how you stay healthy. And that's how you, like, say to me, every day you have to feel successful and happy. It's not something in the future,
Right. Yeah, that's so true. Like, if I were to die today, would I say that I lived a successful life? Would I say that I lived a holistic life? Would I say that I'm leaving behind a great legacy? And each day we have an opportunity to do that again, to approach the day. So, it would only make sense that we approach each of these areas of life and put at least a little bit of focus and attention on it every single day, to say that, yes, I worked on my spirituality today. Yes, I worked on my health today. Yes, I worked on my career, my family, my finances, whatever, my dreams. I worked on myself, my mindset. So it's important that, like, every day we get a new opportunity to say, hey, I made at least one step in all of these areas, and I devoted some time and energy because I'm committed to growing in all of them. Like, I want my spirituality to grow. I want my connection to grow. I want my health. I want my body to be healthier. I want my relationships to grow. I want my career to grow. I want my health to grow. So it only makes sense that I spend time on it every day. That's ideally, and if not that, then at least multiple times a week, because once a week that people are doing this once a week mentality of, hey, let me just like dump it all into one day. It just like it doesn't work.
Exactly right. And so, well, I think you're doing all that stuff, Chris. I think you got to plan on another 100 years, man.
That's right. That's right.
At least, yeah.
Yes.
What the heck?
Yes, absolutely, man. So, Rico, we're beginning to wrap up now. Man, this has been an amazing interview, and we want to know, how do we stay connected with you? You mentioned a couple different things throughout the interview. Let's
Okay.
recap that and
Okay.
give people that next step that they can take with you.
Okay. Well, if you'd like to find out more about my Vitality Stick, it's a whole training program. I think it's the best home gym there is because you can do everything with just my Vitality Stick and the training videos. So you can go to vitalitystick.com and check that out. And really, what I'm promoting right now is, I have a new online wellness club, where members have me as their personal trainer on video every week. And so we have a special. It's just for $1 you can join. For one month, you're going to get 4 personal training videos from me. And so you can check it out for just $1. And then after that, it's a small fee to be part of our Be Bold, Never Be Old Wellness Club. And that's at BeBoldNeverBeOld.com.
Amazing. Rico, thank you so much for what you're doing. You really are America's healthy aging trainer, man, and I love what you're all about, and especially, having that whole life balance, especially reaching people who are high performers and, business minded. There's really no excuse, and I know when you show up and you're helping these people get that whole life balance, really they can show up as their greatest possible selves. They can make the maximum impact possible. They can, really inspire the people in their community to be their best as well by setting the example, by being the role model for health, for eating, whole organic foods, a variety of those, and just thank you for what you do, Rico. I appreciate you, man.
Well, thank you. That's what it's all about. That's what you're doing as well. We need to, I believe that we will create peace and prosperity and, for all the people on this planet eventually. So we just need more people to be their best self as you're teaching and step up and make it happen.
Thank you, Rico. So great having you, man. Have the best day and the best week ever, and we'll see you soon, okay?
Thanks a lot, Chris.
Awesome. Take care.